Hello, everyone. This is Jesse Cubillo, Patient Services Coordinator for Quality Insights Renal Network 3. Today, we will review the QIA participating facilities' progress with the Beyond Engagement 2019 program as we transition into March 2019. By now, all facilities should have submitted Task A, which is the one you're looking at right now, interdisciplinary team commitment of support. If you have not done so, please either email or fax it to me as soon as possible. One thing I want you to keep in mind is if you don't currently have a patient or family member SME actively participate in the QAPI meetings, they do not have to sign this form. And so you could submit it without the patient's or family member's representative. This is the only form you will actually submit to me via email or fax, okay? For Task B, at this moment, everyone should be implementing the tools provided on the Task B, which is the recruitment of patients and family member representatives and completing the online report for Task B. Remember, keep in mind that you are not to submit to me this form or the forms that you gather for patient recruitment or family member recruitment to me via fax or email. You are going to submit that via this link. If you send to me something any of these forms via fax or email, they're not going to count towards completion of this task. So make sure you go to this link to report that. Now, as for the main task, as of March 4th, 2019, your facility must have recruited their 2 patients and or family member subject matter experts and start the integration of these SMEs in your monthly QAPI meetings. Remember, SME and staff will discuss the facility's participation, implementation, objectives, goals, challenges, best practices, and interventions of the network QIA your facility was selected to implement this year. In April, I will be releasing some helpful tips to assist your team in directing the conversation with the SMEs. If your facility is participating in 2 QIAs, you can discuss both QIAs with the SMEs. And this is the form that your facility can use right here, main task, SME QAPI meeting engagement, to gather what discussions took place during the QAPI meetings. Once you have this form completed and your team has used that information, you can then gather that information. You can then go to the actual reporting link, which is provided online. And I'm going to show you how to go exactly about doing that report. So you'll go to our website, qirn3.org, go to ongoing projects. Right under ongoing projects, you're going to see Beyond Engagement 2019. Under Beyond Engagement 2019, there is the monthly report entry. You're going to click where it says enter your results here. Once you're in this page, you will enter the information necessary to be able to get you to the next step. I just want to highlight one thing before we continue is once you select your facility, for example, let me select this facility right here. You're going to see that on the dropdown, this facility does not have the month of February or March coming up as a reporting month. And the reason why is because that means someone at your facilities has already submitted that report, this report for the month of February or the month of March. If you see that I select a facility that has not submitted those reports yet because either they're working on it still, then those months will appear in here. Okay, I just want you guys to keep that in mind. So, for example, we're going to complete the month of February. If a month has passed already and you have not entered information, you could select it. What you're not able to do is, if we're not in the month of April, you're not going to be able to select the month of April. So I stick to the months that are either you're current on or that has passed already and you haven't had the opportunity to enter the information. So let's go with February. We got to enter the facility contact information, and you will enter your name. I'm entering my information so that you guys can have an idea of what this looks like. And you'll enter your phone number, an extension if you have it, and your email address. Okay, once you have that information entered, you'll move on to the next step. I want you guys to keep something in mind when you get to this page. Here, you're going to select the month the date that you had your QAPI meeting. Remember, if you selected the month of February in the previous page, you're going to have to enter a date in the month of February where you had your QAPI meeting. You're not going to be allowed, it's not going to allow you to enter a date in here for the month that's not the same as the one you entered the initial page. So if you selected initially your QAPI meeting took place in the month of February, and that's the report you're submitting, then you're reporting for a date in the month of February. So let's say that was February 27th. You're selected, enter that information in there. Select the network QIAs discussed during your QAPI meeting with the SME. So you could select more than one. Remember, I mentioned you're able to report on the selection of on the projects that you've discussed during the QAPI meetings, and you could discuss more than one during the QAPI meeting. And so you see here that, let's say you discuss all 4 of these projects, then there's going to be a drop down for each one of the projects in each one of the topics. And they're going to have an additional drop down, and that's to ask if you had an action item. If you didn't have an action item, you could still put yes, and then you're going to an action item specifically to the ones listed on this drop down, I mean. But if you did have something that's in addition to what's already listed in here, you could put others, and another section is going to come up for you to be able to enter additional information. As I mentioned here, you could either enter others, or you could look at the list of options that are provided in here. Remember, use this drop down as a reference for future conversations that you may have with the patient or family member SMEs during your QAPI meeting. For example, we're talking about bloodstream infections here. If your team has not considered that your SME is going to be oriented on how to conduct hand hygiene audits, that might be something you might want to consider. Has the SME conducted the hand hygiene audits is something that you want to consider as well. Providing education to other patients and staff, has the SME been a part of that discussion? And so use these as a way to guide yourself and your team in being able to provide a little more guidance into the discussions and to the work that you're going to be doing with your SMEs, and empower them as well to do other stuff at your facility. And the same thing is going to happen with the other QIAs that are selected in here. If you have an action item, you're going to select, and you're going to see that they'll each have a different drop down with different options. If you remove one of these, then as you can see, they're going to disappear, and only the ones you selected stay in here. One more thing I want to highlight is that once you are done submitting this information, you're going to go to the, it's required, as you see, it's required, you need to enter something. You could select more than one as well. So you're not just limited to selecting one option if you did more than one thing at the during that discussion or during that month. And so you're going to go to the next step. Once you're on the next step, you're going to verify that you're not a robot, of course, and you're going to submit the data. I'm not going to submit it, so it doesn't count for this facility. What I want you guys to take into consideration is I want you to use this information to impact implementation and the goals of your QIA. Once your team has had the opportunity to review and discuss the information gathered in the main task form, a member of your team will report the information on our website. And take that, include it into your QAPI meetings, and after this form is submitted, you can print out a copy of this report that you submitted and add that to your QAPI meeting minutes. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm available to assist your team. You know where to contact me, either via email, or you can give me a call and we can discuss. All right. Thank you very much. Once again, this is Jesse Cubillo from Quality Insights Renal Network 3.